Hey, Relationship Rockstar 2020, and today is day 7. Can you believe it? This is kind of officially our last training day, but I am going to hop on at the same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, to do a quick live for how to take what you just learned in the last 7 days of training and bridge the training into 2020. Give you some tips for how to do that, how to take what you've learned and bring it forward into the rest of the year. So today's day 7 and tomorrow's day 8, even though it's just a 7-day challenge. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Stacy Rocklein, and I'm a relationship literacy coach and your coach for this 7-day course. And this is a free 7-day course with daily trainings that have been live every day on this page at 9 a.m. Mountain, but are all recorded, so you can go through and watch them later, go back and watch them. I don't know how long they're going to stay up and be free, so make sure that you do that soon. And you can get the free downloadable workbook that goes along with all of these trainings at relationshiprockstar.com. It's got follow along PDFs and little exercises we've been doing every day. So make sure you go grab that, because I also don't know how long that's going to be available. So go back and watch previous trainings, share with anybody you think might be interested, and let's get started here. Okay, we're going to talk about the fact that you can have whatever you believe is possible, but the trick is actually believing that it's possible for you. Ooh, there's my voice coming out of my computer, right? You got to believe it. And so we've got to figure out how to build that belief up so that it actually can be possible for you. And we're going to do that today. Today we're going to do that with what I call a relationship wish list, okay? And it's how we're going to take our dreams, the things that are in our heart, the things that we really, really want, and to create reality using those dreams. So why are we going to do that? First of all, what is this relationship wish list? It's two things. One, it's a belief builder, and the other thing it is it's training. So the exercise that you're going to do today is to start building those beliefs up, and then you're going to use that going forward as a way to train your heart and your mind to get in line with your beliefs and what you want. I'm just getting your comments here in front of me. Thank you for joining me live. I appreciate that. Okay, here's what happens to us. We get trapped in the experiences that we've already had, okay? When we were a kid and we hadn't had like all of life's experiences, we imagined what it would be like. And it was easy for us, right? Because we had such a limited amount of life, that we lived and life experiences, that we had to use our imagination to wonder what it was like to, be a king, be a queen, go to exotic places, be in the snow if we've never been in the snow. We were able as a kid to really imagine those things. And what happens as we get older is that we stop being able to really see all the possibilities, and we get trapped in what we've already experienced. And we start to believe that life can only be as big as what we already know. Like, the most money that we've ever had in our bank account, that's as big as our imagination, right? The best relationship we've ever had, that's as big as our imagination. We start to dream small because we don't have that ability, or we don't actually exercise that muscle anymore of imagining how amazing life could be. So we need to get back to believing that stuff again, that really kid-like, expansive, open possibility for us, instead of being trapped in just the experiences that we've already had, right? If you're having trouble believing that intimate, connected relationship is going to be something that you can have, you got to push against that, or that's all you're ever going to have, right? You've got to start to believe that if you've been, alone for a long time and you can't imagine yourself with your soulmate, you have to push against that, or that's going to become reality or stay reality. So we want to do that. We want to build up those beliefs. And then training is that once you kind of decide what you want, you have to be doing. Remember, we got to always do things to get to where we're going. And so we're going to talk about exactly what that kind of training daily looks like. Why is this important? Remember what we talked about earlier in the week, that you get more of what you focus on. So if you focus on the experiences you've already had, or you focus on your loneliness, you're going to get more of that, right? I mean, I meet people who get trapped in how alone they feel. And they tell themselves things about how alone they feel and how awful it is. And what happens? They get more loneliness, right? When you start to think about wonderful things that you've experienced, wonderful things that you can imagine, you're pulling in more of that. So you want to get focused on that bigger picture, not just what's happening or has happened in your world. Another thing is you need to feel out your limitations. Like, this is a really good exercise. When you start to think about, like, how close you can get to somebody, or how many friends you can have, or how many life experiences you have, how big you can build a business, how far you can go in your company, you're gonna hit the edge of your box, and you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel that you hit the edge of the box, because one seems totally doable. Like, yeah, I can set that goal and accomplish it. And then you get to a point where you're like, I'm not sure. I don't really know. You are hitting the edge of your box. That's a good place to be. It might feel painful or like unbelievable, but it's information. It's telling you where you need to push out, what you need to break down. So as you go to write this wish list, if you've got things that you want to write and you hesitate to write them, because you're like, I'm not sure if it's okay for me. I'm not sure if that's available to me. That tells you something. If you're afraid to write something down because you fear someone will find this piece of writing and read it and go, yeah, you can't have that, you've hit the edge of your box. You've gotten right up to the edge. This is where you want to be, right? If you can't write on this wish list, I have an intimate, closely connected relationship, how would you be able, how can you even visualize telling your best friend about that? You have to be able to write those things down so that you can push against that belief system. Very, very important. So you want to look for those places where fear stops you. Fear stops you from writing them. Fear stops you from dreaming them, okay? Why else do we do it? We do it because excitement elevates our energy and will bring in more of the same, right? When we feel down and out and blue and depressed, our energy lowers, and like exciting, fun new things don't tend to come into our world at that point. What comes into our world is more crap, right? More things that aren't working when we're there. When we elevate our energy by starting to dream and get excited about stuff, we start to bring in more possibilities. So we want to do that, and this is a fun activity that will naturally bring up your energy. And then how will you use it? So your wish list is going to basically be a letter that you're writing to yourself. I'm going to go over it in just a second, okay? You're going to write this letter to yourself like it's a year from now, and all of these things have changed in your life in the area of relationships. People have left your life, people have come into your life, you've gotten closer. You're going to really think about if it's this time next year, what you want to be writing about, what you want to be experiencing. And you want to go all in on this. Like I said, when you feel your limitations, when you feel where you're hesitant to write something, that's when you should write it. Get it on paper. Practice dreaming about it. So you want to go all in. Try to make this a really full sensory experience. What does this feel like? What does this smell like? What does this look like? What everything, We sometimes get trapped, right? Maybe the relationship you're in right now, you feel a little bit like you can't really imagine being so intimately connected to them that you guys share a tender moment. with a warm kiss or a hand holding, or that kind of butterfly feeling in your stomach. That means that you're constricting your dream, okay? You want to dream more expansively. You have those experiences in your life. Now, I'm not telling you, like, imagine someone else and make it all confusing in your relationship, but you know what a warm kiss feels like. You know what it feels like to feel excited about somebody, okay? You know what feeling intimately connected to somebody is, right? Use those experiences to help you build this dream out. You want to feel more of that. So try to make it as expansive as possible. And there are certain things that maybe you haven't experienced, right? But here's the thing. You can do a bridge. If you look across the room and you see a metal coffee table, okay? It's a metal coffee table. You don't have to go over and put your mouth on that metal coffee table to know exactly how it's going to feel, taste. Like, maybe you've never tried to take a bite out of a metal coffee table before, but you can bridge experiences that you have to new ones. And so you can imagine what these dreams feel like coming into your life. You want to do that. You want to create an expansive dream. You want to pull in bigger things. So watch being kind of constrictive. Let's see. You want it to be a really 3D experience, right? It's one thing to kind of look at a cartoon drawing. It's another thing to watch a movie, and then it's another thing to be experiencing something in real life, right? You want to really bring in a feeling of real life. Then after you have this letter, right, you've dreamed, right? I did this activity once in a business conference or retreat, and I was writing about, wanting to or living in the concept of I'd already experienced flying on a private jet, right? I'm trying to imagine what it's like, what it feels like in there, what the environment feels like, what it smells like, all of that stuff. And then I had the opportunity to actually fly on one not long after that. And when I walked in, it felt familiar, right? Because I knew how the leather seats were going to feel, and I knew how big the space was. And I could imagine all of the things that went with that because I'd already used my imagination, and that just validated, oh yeah, it was exactly like I thought. You're capable of imagining exactly what you want. So now that you've got this visualization, you can use it a couple ways. You can go back and read your letter regularly. That's a great way to kind of keep it present, keep those dreams present. You can set aside time every day to visualize what that life is going to look like. What is it going to look like in a year? What are your relationships going to look like in a year? One of the kind of what can be a frustrating experience in life is to go back and read a journal from 10 years ago and realize you're still writing about the same things you were complaining about 10 years ago. You don't want to be doing that. The whole point of this is so that next year, if you were reading what you were writing about right now, if you were a journaler, it would be completely different. You would be on to new, much bigger things. So here's another place to use it. If you've worked on some visualization, right? As you're writing this letter, I want you to really try to visualize this experience. Then you have something that you can use whenever you want to shift yourself into excitement. Say you're kind of having a bad day or just a blah day. You start visualizing your dreams and it is going to elevate you. Here's a place that I like to use it. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm kind of awake and I can't fall back asleep, I go right into my dream visualization, right? Right now I have a couple dreams that are in the foreground of my life. I'd like to give a TED Talk, for example, right? I have a visualization of what that feels like, of what it feels like to be standing on a stage, what it feels like to have those big red letters behind me with the bright lights in my face and the PowerPoint. I've created a multi-sensory experience for myself. And so when I've got downtime or time that I don't want to be just sitting and spinning in the middle of the night, I go right to my visualization and I work on visualizing that thing I want to bring into my life. So that's another place that you can use it. It works the same for dreams as it does for relationships. So this is what you're going to do today. You're going to work on your relationship wish list, and there are some suggested questions in your workbook. I'm just checking my notes here. I just want to encourage you to do this. Because right now you might be thinking to yourself, like, this seems kind of silly. I don't really want to do this. Don't skip this. Don't skip this for two reasons. Number one, you're gonna have a better day because of it, I promise. You're gonna get excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna get you dreaming. Remember, daydreaming and fantasizing as a kid was really fun. It's gonna make you feel good. And also, it's gonna show you where you're dreaming too small. It's gonna show you where the box is, where you've got a limitation that you don't think is possible for you, and that is what you want to be pushing against so that you can bring in the relationships that you want, you deserve, you desire. So don't skip this activity. Some of the questions. Dear me, you're writing to yourself. Pretend it's a year from now in a letter to yourself. Describe your perfect relationship landscape, all of it, okay? As though it has come true. All the different relationships, family, friends, siblings, children, spouse, partner, who's entered your life, who has exited. Who do you spend time with? How do you spend that time? How do you feel when you're with others? How do you feel when you're alone? Very important question. Talk about your relationship with yourself. You're basically just trying to write your dreams into existence. And these are just jump off questions. Like you'll think of other things that you want to add. Make sure you do this. I promise you, it's going to feel good and it's going to get the ball rolling on things. Remember, we talked about the law of attraction earlier, and you have to be in that energetic space to pull in more of the same. It's very, very important that you get yourself there, and this letter will help you get there. Question, how do I get the workbook? Awesome question. I'm writing in the link, relationshiprockstar.com. You can go get it right now. Download that. That's completely free. It has all the exercises in it. Okay, so this is what you're going to do today. This is day 7 of our 7-day challenge, but like I said, I'm going to be hopping on tomorrow because I want to give you a way to bridge this 7-day course and these trainings into the rest of 2020. And so I'll be giving you a couple ways that you can do that. Just some simple questions to answer for yourself so that you can maximize what you've learned here. Okay, thank you for joining me live, my friends. Thank you for watching in replay, and I will see you tomorrow.